Good morning. This morning I'd like to go over 5 things that I think you should know, that everyone really needs to know and understand before you go out and get involved in your first homestead. I know that homesteading is a very intriguing way of life, peace of mind, the atmosphere, doing things your own way, doing things for yourselves, being self-sustainable. These things are all really great aspects of homesteading, but there are also sides of homesteading that most people don't understand. So here are going to be 5 things that you really need to know before getting involved in a homestead. Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Working Man's Revolution. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. The first thing you really need to know about owning a homestead before getting started is no matter how sick, no matter how tired, no matter how sick and tired you may be, the work still needs to be done. No one else is going to be doing it. It's not like some corporate job to where, if you call in sick, no big deal, the work's still going to get done, the task is still going to carry on. Homesteading, you can't do that. You have animals that rely on you. Like children, they need fed, they need watered, they need cared for, they need tended to, and they don't get that from anywhere else. There's not someone else that's going to come jump in and pull the slack. You're the person that's got to do it. And no matter how sick you are, no matter how terrible you feel, the animals still need taken care of. They still need let out of the corrals. They still need bedding. They still need water. They still need fed. So this is something you just can't take a day off. You need to be aware of that. And many times, unlike children, the animals are typically outside. And many times when you don't feel well, say winter, for example, many times when you're sick and tired, the weather outside is going to be terrible. And that's going to lead me to number 2. Number 2 is going to be the weather. It doesn't matter how terrible the weather is. It doesn't matter if it's 10 degrees and a blizzard outside. It doesn't matter if it's 30 or 40 below zero and the wind is howling. It doesn't matter. The animals still need tended to. And many times when the weather is that bad, the animals actually need more attention. I'll use the cows for an example. Last January, it stayed about 30 below zero for several days. Well, the water the cows get is in the creek. I've showed you that a couple of times. And when it's that cold, water will start to freeze. Even moving water starts to freeze. And it freezes up above us and higher and higher. And so the water where we are continues to drop. So when it's 30 below zero and 40 below zero, we're literally out here with the bar breaking the ice so the cows can get to water. So it doesn't matter the weather, we've still got to be out here taking care of these animals. If it's not us doing it, the animals will go without, and animals can't go without water just because it's cold out and uncomfortable for you. Another thing is a vacation. Taking vacation when you've got a lot of animals, whether that be simple things like chickens or ducks and geese, or goats, cows, whatever it may be, you can't just take a vacation. You can't just, we're going to go to Vegas for 3 days. It's not something that's easy to accomplish. To do something like that, you'd have to have someone that someone you can trust, and someone that can handle the situation if something does arise. Finding someone like that is really, really difficult to do. And if you do find someone like that, make sure you take care of that relationship, because they're going to be critical for you in times of need. Whether that be something happened when it's 30 below, you can call them, have them help you, whatever it may be. Finding someone you can trust and rely on is just going to be absolutely critical. So taking 2 weeks to go to Florida and go to Disney World and take the kids to Europe, whatever it is you're planning on doing, that's really, really difficult to do. And you need to understand that before you get involved, because people don't realize the time and attention that it takes to take care of a homestead every single day. Cows and the animals, the goats, the chickens, they don't take the day off on Sunday or Easter or Christmas or whatever. They don't take those days off. They're always there. They're always going to need your assistance. Interestingly enough, the animals that you would think are the easiest to take care of are many times the most difficult to take care of, and vice versa. Um, Cows, you would think because they eat a lot and require a lot of water and that kind of thing, you would think that they're really difficult to take care of. And that's not always the case. Many times, if they're in a good sized pasture and they've got a lot of grass and it's the summer and they've got a good running creek, something like that, or a large pond, most of the time cows are pretty good under those circumstances. They'll take care of themselves. You're still going to want somebody that can stop by, take a look, make sure they haven't gotten into the fence or knocked the fence down or something like that. So if you have a neighbor friend that can drive by, that drives by anyway, that can just drive by and look, yep, cows all seem to be there. They're all in the fence. Doesn't seem like anybody's hurt or in a fence. Cows can be pretty well self-sustaining, whereas goats, if they've got to be in a barn every night. They've got to have a water tub that's filled every day. They need feed put out for them every day. They can actually be much more difficult than cows can be. I know it seems another thing to understand that is invariably you're going to be late. If there's something important going on, many times you're going to be late. Invariably, I can't tell you how many times something simple as feeding the cows before I go to town. I've got to be to town at noon, for example. Come over, you start taking care of something, a cow gets wrapped up in a feeder or a calf gets in a feeder, and then they're twisted up and everything becomes a problem. You're going to be late. It's just amazing to me the number of times that the best laid plans, everything's going well. This morning, I just got to run over and take care of that cows real quick, and I'll leave from there, no problem. I'll be to town by 10, no problem at all. And no kidding, something will come up. They'll get in a fence, they'll knock a fence over, they'll break some boards, they'll knock panels over. Something is going to happen, and it just, the most basic things take 3, 4, 5 times as long as they should. Then there'll be days where you don't have anything to do at all, and it's 2 o'clock, and you're wondering, did I miss something? Did I forget something? Because everything seems to have gone smooth and just just the way it should have gone. And it's just those. That's the way it always seems to work. Is whenever you're in a hurry, whenever you have something to do, sure enough, it's going to take forever because something is going to go wrong. And one thing leads to another, leads to another. One simple task leads into a chain of events that the next thing you know, it's 4 in the afternoon and you've missed somebody's wedding entirely. So you need to know that you're going to be late, and you're going to be late a lot. So point number 5, I want to bring up. This is the last one I'll bring up today. The list is innumerable. But the last one I'm going to bring up today, and I don't want to be insensitive. I want you to understand that many times having livestock is just such a wonderful experience. It truly is. It's a wonderful experience, the give and take between the animals and yourself. But at the same time, there are times that are extremely, extremely sad and very, very emotional. And I don't want to be insensitive in what I'm going to say, but I want you to understand that it's not meant to be insensitive. Um, there'll be times that it'll be 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, someone will call you, hey, your horses got out and something's happened to them in the road. Um, you'll get out, it's calving season, and you can see that the heifer has been trying for some time. She's been struggling and is just not going to be able to give birth to this calf normally. Um, the calf may not survive or is already stillborn. As much as you may want to cry, to break down, to to take a few minutes to yourself because it is emotional, You have to remember that the lives of other animals are involved, and you can't just stop and take that time. You can't do it. If you've got a heifer that's been struggling for 8, 10, 12 hours to give birth to a calf, the calf's already passed, not going to make it, you still need to remember that that heifer is still, her life is still in the balance. We don't have time to cry or have a breakdown or anything else. We've got to get that heifer into a corral, into a chute, somewhere where you can handle her. You've got to pull that calf, and you've got to handle the situation at hand. I know it sounds insensitive. I know that it sounds insensitive for me to say that you can't stop to cry, but unfortunately, you can't. You have other animals. Say you've got 20 goats. They've gotten into the road. One of them's gotten hit by a car. It's devastating. You've lost the life of a good friend. Many times these animals become good friends. I understand that, and it is devastating, and it's sad, and you would like to do nothing more than just walk away, catch your breath, and now let's take care of what's going on. But you can't. There's more cars coming. The rest of your animals are still in the road. As sad as it is, you don't have time to pause, you know, have a little breakdown, cry for a few minutes. I'm not saying these are bad emotions, but what I'm saying is you don't have time for them right now. You need to handle the situation, get all the other animals back to where they need to be, get the animals into a safe, controlled area, get them secure, start taking care of the animal that's been injured or succumbed. But you need to take care of everyone else first. You can't have another car come and have another accident. You can't have a car come and hit the other car or whatever because your goats or animals are still on the road. You need to hold yourself, maintain control of yourself, get the situation under control, make sure all the rest of your animals are secure and safe, take care of what's happened. When you get everybody back home, get everything back the way they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to be, taken care of and managed, then go in the house, have a cup of coffee, take your time, process what's happened, and then go through what you need to go through to handle the situation. But you need to understand that it can't happen just right in the middle of things. When things are happening like that, you need to make sure everyone else is safe and secure before you take that time for yourself. Um, I know the list seems very daunting. I know that it seems very negative. It's not negative. It's just things that you need to know and understand before you get started. Um, there's no way in the world I would change this life. There's nothing more in this world that I would rather do than what I'm doing. Um, these animals are not only just animals to me, they've become my family. They've become my wife and I's family. They're an extended family of our children, our grandchildren, of our daily lives. They're good friends as well. I know most of the time you'll see me call the cows by their numbers, um, simply because there's just too many to name. But the grandkids have names for them. There's Betty, there's Ferdinand, there's several different names. I get that. Many of them I do call by their names, but a lot of them I call by their numbers. Nonetheless, I still know them by their personality. I'll use 14-1, this year's calf, as an example. 14-1, for whatever reason, has been less cautious than the others. He's walked up to me, he's rubbed on me, he appreciates being scratched and things like that. I've not given him a name. His name is 14-1. It doesn't mean that he doesn't mean anything to me. It just means that we have too many to give names to. Anyway, moral of the story is please know what you're getting into before you get into it. I'm not trying to deter anyone from homesteading. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but you definitely need to understand there are things that you've got to compromise to have a homestead. All that, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.